Reserved people are often difficult to get to know. They tend to keep their thoughts and feelings to themselves, which can make them seem standoffish or aloof. Does this sound familiar? There are certain signs that can help you identify whether you are reserved. Welcome to Fragile Mind. In this video, we will discuss 15 signs you are a reserved person. Number 1, you have a small friend group. If you're reserved, chances are you don't have a large social circle. You're not the type of person to go out and meet new people. So you tend to stick to the same group of close friends, and that's perfectly okay. Quality's always better than quantity. Your small group of friends knows the real you and accepts you for who you are. They're the ones you can rely on when you need a shoulder to cry on or just want to have a good time. So cherish your close friendships because they truly are priceless. Number 2, you're not big on small talk. As a reserved person, you're probably not someone who enjoys small talk. You would rather discuss meaningful topics than things like the weather or what people did over the weekend. You like to get to know people on a deeper level, and you find small talk to be tedious and pointless. This might make you seem uninterested or aloof, but in reality, you just prefer meaningful conversations. Number 3, you're not very expressive. You might have had people tell you that you're a mystery because you tend to be pretty stoic. You don't like to talk about things that don't matter. You'd rather listen and observe. This makes it hard for people to get to know you. But if they put in the effort, they'll find that you're a very deep thinker with a lot to say. Number 4, you're not afraid of silence. Being a reserved person has its advantages. For one, you're not afraid of silence. In fact, you often appreciate it, as it gives you time to think and reflect. And since you don't feel the need to fill every single pause in the conversation, people tend to find you calming and relaxing to be around. This can be a valuable asset in high-pressure situations where clear heads are needed. Number 5, you're careful with words. You don't express yourself easily, but when you do speak up, people listen. Why? Because they know you choose your words carefully. This means that when you do say something, your words carry a lot of weight. Your thoughts and opinions matter, and people are more likely to listen when you share them. As a result, you have a lot of influence, even if you don't always use your voice. Number 6, you're not afraid of your emotions. Just because you're a reserved person doesn't mean you're afraid of emotions. In fact, being reserved and taking the time to go inward often allows you to better process and understand your emotions. You're not afraid to feel deep things or to be introspective. You know your emotions are valid and important, even if you don't always show them on the outside. Number 7, you can be witty and funny. Another sign that you may be a reserved person is having a tendency to be witty. Reserved people tend to be good at hiding their true feelings behind a facade of humor. If you find yourself making jokes even when you don't feel like it, it's possible that you're doing so in order to avoid revealing how you really feel. Number 8, you don't reveal too much about yourself. Do people often tell you that they feel they don't really know you? If so, it's probably because you don't share much about yourself. Reserved people tend to be quite private and keep their thoughts and feelings to themselves. As a result, others may have a hard time getting to know them on a deeper level. Number 9, you're often quiet and introspective. If you find yourself being quiet in social settings more often than not, it may be because you're introspective by nature. Reserved people tend to spend a lot of time thinking about things before they speak up. This introspection can sometimes make them seem aloof or detached. However, it simply means that they prefer to think before they speak. Number 10, you find it hard to open up to new people. If meeting new people makes you feel uncomfortable, you may be reserved by nature. It takes time for reserved people to warm up to new faces, since they need time to assess whether or not they can trust someone with their innermost thoughts and feelings. As such, you may come across a bit cold or unapproachable at first, but you eventually open up when you get to know someone better. Number 11, you don't like to be the life of the party. Reserved people tend to avoid the spotlight in group settings. You may actually enjoy social gatherings and conversing with others, but you don't feel the need to be the center of attention. You're comfortable sitting back and observing the people around you. Number 12, you're not always comfortable in social situations. Some reserved people find it difficult to engage in small talk while socializing because they would rather have substantive conversations. You may find yourself feeling out of place in group settings where everyone is just chatting and not really saying anything of substance. Number 13, you're not the touchy-feely type. Although some people are naturally comfortable with physical contact, others find it difficult to express themselves through touch, and that's totally fine. However, studies have shown that giving or receiving a hug can help to reduce anxiety and lower your blood pressure, boost the immune system, and build trust and closeness between people. If you're not naturally inclined to be touchy-feely, it may take a bit of practice to get comfortable with that idea, but allowing yourself to be hugged by people you know and trust could be well worth the effort. Number 14, you like to spend time alone. If you're reserved, you're likely perfectly content spending time by yourself. In fact, you often prefer it this way. You like having time to think and reflect without anyone else around to distract you. Solitude gives you a sense of peace and allows you to relax. It can also be a great way to recharge after being around people for too long. Number 15, you always think before you speak. Reserved people are careful with their words because they know that once they say something, they can't take it back. You take your time before responding to someone so that you can choose your words wisely. This makes you seem more thoughtful and sincere when you do finally speak up. Being a reserved person can have its pros and cons, but ultimately the degree to which you embrace your reserved nature is up to you. If you're happy with being introspective and keeping your thoughts to yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you find that being reserved is holding you back in some way, then maybe it's time to start opening up more. Only you can decide what's best for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.